You have decades of experience. You have the client results. You have a story that matters. And yet, your brand is still either magnetically attracting the right people or it's quietly pushing them away. Most business owners are the best kept secret in the industry, and not because they lack talent, but because their brand reflects who they used to be, not the real version of who they are now. Today, we're pulling it all together to stop the identity crisis in your business. We're moving beyond design to fix your brand architecture, align your message, and turn your website into a client attracting machine. Let's finish this. Welcome to the Midlife Business Academy. I'm Lori Lyons, marketing strategist, business coach, and accidental techie. After years of running a successful website design agency, I'm now building the business of my dreams and helping other midlife entrepreneurs do the same. From strategy to marketing to mindset, we covered what really matters when you're growing a business that fits your life. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Midlife Business Academy. I'm Lori Lyons, and today we're wrapping up the three-part series on our branding mini-series. If you haven't listened to the first two episodes, go back. We covered brand energy first, what you're actually putting out there and why it matters more than any design decision you'll ever make. Then we talked about the real reason your marketing isn't working, the visibility trap, the message market fit problem, and why your ideal clients are responding to symptoms, not solutions. And today we're going to put it all together. By the end of this episode, you're going to have a very different picture of what your brand needs and a clear, practical place to start. So, what does an aligned brand really look like? Most brands are built the way most businesses are built, a little at a time, reactively, one piece added here and a piece added there, without a real through line connecting all of it. Your website was built at one point in your business. Your social profiles were set up at another point in your business. Your email list grew out of a lead magnet you created probably 2 years ago. Your offer suite evolved in response to what clients asked for. And nobody ever sat down and said, does this all tell a coherent story? Does it all point to the same person, the same promise, the same next step? If the answer is no, and for most business owner it's a no, that's not failure. That's just the organic way businesses grow. But at some point, you have to put it all together. And that point is usually when you realize the brand you've been building reflects who you were, not who you are now. So here's what a fully aligned brand looks like in practice. Somebody finds you through a referral, a Google search, a social post, a podcast, and within the first 90 seconds of engaging with your content, they know two things. They know exactly what you do and who you do it for. And they know whether or not you're for them within 90 seconds. That's it. That's the bar. It sounds simple, but getting there takes intention. And for those of you who've done the 4 R's, who've gone through the reveal, done the release, started living in the redefined, here's what I want you to hear. Your brand needs to reflect where you are now, not where you were when you first built it. The rise version of you has a different brand than the version who is still figuring it out. If your brand hasn't caught up with who you are and who you've become, that's the gap worth closing first. So, what are the 4 elements every brand needs to have? Let me give you a little bit of it. I'm a framework person, so let me give you a framework for what your brand actually needs in order to work. The first thing, it needs a clear point of view, not just a niche, a perspective, a way of looking at things that's specifically yours. I had a business coach who used to work with me on point of view. He said it's the hill you stand on. It's what you will say with your last breath. A little dramatic, but it's kind of what it is. The most magnetic brands aren't just about what the business owner does, they're about what the business owner believes. Do you believe that most business coaches are teaching tactics when people need transformation? That's a point of view. Do you believe that marketing doesn't have to feel like selling your soul? That's a point of view. Do you believe the most underestimated asset in your business is the depth of your own experience? That's a point of view. Your point of view is what makes your brand more than a service offering. It's what makes people feel like, I found the right person. And if you're not sure what yours is, ask yourself what frustrates you the most about your industry? What do you wish people knew? What would you say if you weren't worried about who might disagree? That's where your point of view lives. And that point of view, it didn't come from a course or a certification. It came from everything you've built, survived, learned, and shed along the way. It's redefined, made visible. And if you want to learn more, go all the way back to episode number 36. It's all about point of view. And to this day, it is still one of my most listened to episodes. So go take a listen. Episode 36. All right. So, number two, what your brand needs is a defined ideal client. You knew I was going to say that, not a demographic, an experience. You need to know not just who your ideal client is on paper, their age, their industry, and all that stuff, but who they are emotionally. What are they struggling with right now? What have they already tried? What do they secretly believe about why things haven't worked? What do they want so badly they can taste it? And going back to what we talked about last week, what are their symptoms? What are they actually feeling and experiencing before they know what the problem is? Because that's the language your brand needs to speak, not the diagnosis, the symptom. When you know that, your marketing writes itself because you're just describing what they're going through in language that makes them feel completely understood. And that's the reveal build right into your brand. Number three, a clear single promise, not a list of everything you can do, one promise. What's the primary outcome someone gets from working with you? What is the specific, meaningful, life affecting results that you deliver? And I want to push you here because a lot of business owners are still leading with tactical promises when they're actually delivering transformational ones. And the secret is in the transformation. I'll help you build your content strategy is a tactical promise. You'll stop second guessing your message and start attracting clients who are already halfway to yes is a transformational promise. One describes what you do, the other describe what changes. That promise has to be present everywhere on your website, in your social posts, and how you answer when someone asks what you do. It should be so consistent that someone who has consumed 10 pieces of your content and someone who's just found you today would both be able to articulate it in roughly the same way. And last, number four, a clear path for people to follow. Your brand isn't just what people see. It's the experience people have as they move from stranger to follower to client to advocate. If that path isn't clear, if there's no obvious next step from your social content, no clear entry point into your world, no structured way for somebody to experience you before they invest, then your brand is doing an awful lot of heavy lifting at the awareness stage, and they leave people stranded before they ever get to yes. Think of it as the transformation arc made visible in your marketing. Your content creates the reveal. Your free resources and deeper touch points help them release the old thinking. Your messaging around your offer speaks to the redefined, the new version of themselves they're stepping into. And your client results, your testimonials, your case studies, those show the rise. And that's not just a coaching framework, that's a brand architecture. Map the path, make it obvious, make the next step easy. So your website, it has to be the place where everything comes together. It's the one piece of your brand that has the most work to do. And for most people, it's the most neglected. Social media is rented land. Your email list is yours, but it's a relationship, not a destination. Your website is the one place you own completely, or you should. The one place where someone can get the full picture of who you are, who you serve, what you offer, and what to do next. And most websites, especially ones that have been around for a few years, are not doing their job. They're either too general, too complicated, or too self focused, which is what I see most often. Your stories and credentials are front and center. What your visitor actually wants to know is whether you understand them, you understand their symptoms, and whether you can solve their problem. So here's a simple test. I've talked about this many, many times. Have somebody else read your headline, the very first thing somebody sees. Does it speak to the symptom your ideal client is living with now? Does it make them feel seen before they've even read a single word of your bio? If your headline is not doing that, or if the person you asked to read it can't understand that, it's time to revise. Not welcome to my website, not I'm a business coach helping you create success. It's something that makes your ideal client stop and think. She's talking about me. Hello, she's talking about me. She understands me. Then look at the rest of your homepage. Is the language about them or is it about you? Does it walk someone through the arc from where they are now to what's possible? Or does it just list your services and credentials? And finally, what is the one thing you want somebody to do after visiting your homepage? Is that one thing obvious? Is it everything on the page pointing to it? If your website isn't passing that test, it's working against your marketing and your branding. You can be doing everything right on social, driving people to your site and losing them the second they arrive because nothing on the page is speaking to the symptoms they walked in with. So now I want to talk about something that doesn't get nearly enough attention in the branding conversation: the power of a great soundbite. A soundbite is a short, memorable phrase. A soundbite is a short, memorable phrase that captures something true and important in a way that sticks. It's the sentence someone repeats when they tell a friend about you. It's the line from your post that gets screenshot and shared. It's what someone says when they introduce you. She always says, quote unquote. And great sound bites do several things at once. They communicate your point of view. They're specific enough to be meaningful and simple enough to be memorable. And they create recognition. So when someone hears you say it or reads it in your content, they think, that's her. My show tagline, for example: entrepreneur strategies to attract clients, increase revenue, and grow with purpose. Okay, now that's not a sexy soundbite, but that's exactly my tagline and what it says. It captures exactly who my podcast is for and exactly what we're doing here. Another one I use: it's never too late to build the business of your dreams. It's how I close the show every week. If you don't believe me, go back and listen, especially the last year and a half. This is how I've been closing my show. The people who listen regularly know it's coming because it means something. It's not just a sign off, it's a belief, and it's what my business is built around. Your soundbite should come from your point of view, your transformation work, your specific way of seeing things. It can't be generated by AI, and they can't be borrowed from somebody else's brand. They come from the redefined and rise version of you, the one that's done the work, knows what she believes, and isn't afraid to say it out loud. Once you find yours, you repeat it, you say it consistently, you let it become the thing you're known for. So, where do you want to actually start when you build your brand? Because I know that we've covered a lot of ground and I don't want to leave you in the overwhelm of all of this. So, let me give you a very practical starting point. If you're thinking, I need to rebuild my brand from the ground up, reframe that right now. And you don't start over. You just audit, and align. So start with your message because that's the most important. Before you touch your website, before you change your social bio, before you redesign anything, get your message right. Who are you for? What symptoms are they living with? What do you actually deliver? What is your point of view? Write it out in plain language, not marketing language. The language you'd explain to someone at a coffee shop who just asked you what you do, or you'd share over a glass of wine. Then read it out loud. Does it sound like you? Does it speak to the symptom before it speaks to the solution? Does it make you cringe a little bit? Or does it make you puff up with pride, the way a bold thing should do? Then look at your website. Once your message is clear, evaluate your website against it. Does the home page speak to symptoms? Does it create a reveal moment for the right person? Does it walk someone toward the next step? You don't necessarily need a redesign. You might just need to rewrite. Then audit your content. Pick 10 recent social media posts or emails. Read them as a stranger would. Do they speak to symptoms or solutions? Do they have a point of view? Do they have a clear direction? If the answer is mostly no, then don't panic. Just shift going forward. Start being more specific. Start today. Start saying the actual thing instead of the safe version out of it. And then get consistent. The number one brand builder is consistency, not perfection, not volume, but consistency. Saying the same things in the same way with the same energy over and over until the right people can't miss you. That's rise energy showing up in your marketing every single day. And that's what an aligned brand looks like in practice. And remember, I've said this before, when your messages start getting old to you, that's when people are just starting to hear it. So I always give you an action step. Here's what I want you to do this week. And this one kind of pulls all of this together. Take out a piece of paper and draw a line down the middle. On the left side, write down the transformation you deliver, not tactics, not deliverables, the actual change, who someone is and how they operate after they work with you. Use the 4 R's if you guys as your guide if that helps. What do they reveal? What do they release? How do they refine? And what does their rise look like? Then on the right side, write down the symptoms your ideal client is experiencing now before they know they need you. The exhaustion, the confusion, that I'm doing everything right and nothing is working feeling. That quiet wondering if it's just maybe them. Now look at your website, your social bio, and your last 5 posts. Which side of that paper are you speaking from? If you're leading with the left side, the transformation, the solution, the outcome, but your ideal client is living on the right side, the symptoms, the frustration, the confusion, then that's your gap. Close it. Start speaking to the right side and let the left side be the promise that pulls them forward. Now you've looked at what you're saying and who you're actually saying it to. The next step is showing up consistently as the version of yourself who's already done the work, because that's the brand your ideal clients are waiting to find. So this is the end of the 3-part little mini series on branding. But before I close, I want to say something. The reason most established business owners don't have the brand they deserve is not because of lack of talent or lack of experience or lack of results. It's lack of alignment between who they are and what they're putting out, between the transformation they deliver and the language they're using to describe it, between the rise version of themselves and the brand that's still reflecting an older, smaller story. That alignment's flexible and fixable. It doesn't require starting over. It requires being willing to look honestly at where the gaps are and closing them one piece at a time. If you want help doing that, if you want someone who's built 5 businesses over way too many years to count to sit down and look at what's actually happening, that's what the Profitable Path Blueprint call is for. 30 minutes, real conversation, real clarity, no fluff, No pitch. Well, okay, a little pitch. Just an honest look at your business and what the next right move is. Talkwithlori.com. The link will be in the show notes. These aren't coaching calls. By the end of one, you'll know exactly where you are, where the gap is, and whether we're a fit to work together and go deeper. I'm Lori Lyons. This is the Midlife Business Academy. And remember, it's never too late to build the business of your dreams. We'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me on the Midlife Business Academy. If today's episode made you think, or made you feel, or made you feel seen, share it with a fellow business owner who could use it too. When you're ready for more support, you'll find the link to book your Profitable Path Blueprint call in the show notes. I'll be back next week with more insight and strategy to help you build a business that truly fits your life and one of your dreams. We'll see you next time on the Midlife Business Academy.